The first ever AEW Dynasty is officially in the books. What is up, everybody? It's Denise Salcedo, and I'm joined here by Righteous Reg, and we are here to talk about Dynasty. And let me tell you, this one, Reg, my God, there is quite a bit that we got to get into with this show. But before we get to all of that, just a heads up to everybody in here. I know this is a special edition of the show, but if you want to help support this podcast, get your questions, your comments, your reactions, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat, and it does help out the show tremendously. But Reg, man, coming off of last night, how are you feeling?
Denise, I went through a lot of emotions, of course, connected to this show. The ending was an emotional roller coaster for sure. But I woke up thinking I maybe see the greatest match I've ever seen in my entire life on an AEW show, Denise. That's where I landed. I woke up thinking about that match. Everything online is just that match. It's just that match, Denise. You were there live in person. You made it home safe also. Great to see that. There live in person, the atmosphere was insane. Just describe to me what it was like being in the building for this.
Reg. So when I walked in, I forgot how do they call it? The chain. What's the name of the building? Chain. It's something with a C. CHAITNZ. I don't know. Whatever. That building in St. Louis that AEW was at last night. So when I walked in, one of the first things that I instantly liked about it was that it was very compact in the sense that there was a lot of seats, a lot of people, right? But because it wasn't this like extraordinarily huge venue, it was keeping the sound in very nicely from the crowd. So honestly, like your reactions, like they didn't even have to be like super crazy for a lot of the sound to bounce off. However, when those big reactions happen, damn, it sounded so freaking good. Like there was, and I'll just say it right now, the moment that the bell rang for Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, the moment the bell rang, Reg, that shit like bled through. Everybody had this like, yes, sort of reaction. And I do not remember the last time that I heard a reaction like that for just the bell ringing to a match. It was nuts, Reg. And I will tell you, like, I am so happy that I decided to go out to the show because I know I would have had a hell of a time watching on TV because great matches, no matter where you're watching, they're freaking great. But I'm so happy I went to the show because to get to feel that kind of an energy, Reg, damn, it's like a once in a lifetime type thing, you know?
Denise, I hate you. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at Phil. I'm mad at Will for working there. I prioritize my life wrong, Denise. I've learned after watching the show. I'm like, I went to Philadelphia to try to be this cool person, and I missed out on an amazing wrestling opportunity, amazing wrestling experience, and I'm very sad about it. I wish I was there. To know when the match was announced, Denise, it was already like I should be there for this. I know that it's gonna be the craziest thing I've ever seen, but I'm just not gonna be able to make it, and I'm so sad that I didn't make it. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. I cried myself to sleep last night, so
This is like
yeah.
when all your friends go hang out and have the best time ever, and then you're just at home like, damn. But no, honestly though, it doesn't matter where you watched, whether you watched on TV, whether you watched in person. Everybody is talking about this match because this match sort of, I think everybody that watched it sort of had the feeling of like, yeah, I know exactly why I signed up to be a pro wrestling fan. And
Yep.
we'll talk more about it in a second, but I do want to go ahead and get to some of the other parts of the show before we get to like the big part of the show.
Totally.
But overall, AEW Dynasty, it was this situation for me where I felt like the opening match with Kazuchika Okada and Pac, like that started off very freaking nicely. The second that I saw that they were starting out the show, Reg, I was like, oh shit, we're getting started like with this. This is great. We're getting started off hot, right? And then there was a part in the middle of the show, a couple of parts in the middle of the show where I thought some matches were not as good, but the crowd made them better than what they were. And then there was another match that I can't wait to talk about because it was the shits. And then all of a sudden, so I'm thinking to myself, like somewhere about like halfway through the show, I'm thinking, you know what? damn, Dynasty's not that good right now. That's what I was thinking, Reg. And then thankfully, I mean, we all knew it. I flew over there for one specific match. And when that match happened, everything changed. And that match really just changed the pacing of the show, that by the time we got to the main event, everybody was freaking hyped as hell. So I do think that the ending of the show, the way that Dynasty closed out, really left everybody feeling what they're feeling here today.
You know, I know this is all true, Denise, because at one point, Denise Salcedo is texting me. I'm like, wait, Denise is at the show. Why is she texting me?
Help me, Reg. Go for it.
About what's going like Denise is texting me about what's going on. That's never a good sign. Like if we have when we have the post show, regular Dynamite show, like if Denise is texting me at any point, something's not going right, or like she's bored. That's really what it is. I'm sorry, Denise. Denise is bored if she's texting me. So at one point she's texting me. I'm like, oh shit, it's not good right here at this point.
Oh, and said what I texted you. You don't have to say what part of the show I texted you. Go ahead. Say what I texted you.
Listen, Denise, I'm gonna let you put yourself out there for that.
I sent you 3 little sleeping emojis.
Yeah.
3 tiny little sleeping emojis. And then afterwards, things changed from there after that.
Denise, so legit seconds later, Chris Jericho's music hits. I'm like, oh no, this is bad. This is so bad. Yeah, so at the middle of this, I was thinking the same thing, Denise. Maybe not that. I'm just like, oh, this is just a show.
I'm dramatic. I either love it or I don't.
Definitely. I mean, going into it with the card, we were like, this is going to be one of the craziest shows of all time. And towards the middle, it's like, oh, okay, this is happening. It's going. But then, you know, towards the last 3 matches, it was all systems go. So it worked out.
We got our first super chat of the day. This one's from Crazy 101, who says, what a pay-per-view. Swerve versus Keith, fingers crossed. Will and Brian was mind blown lit emoji, says Crazy 101. Thank you so much for sending that in. All right, so I want to start off with Okada versus Pac. Like, let's start there because that was for the AEW Continental Championship. And this was a match that I'm just going to say right off the bat, this was the first time that I feel that we saw Okada presented in the light that we were expecting him to be presented from like the very beginning. And I know it's a little unfair to say because he has been presented well, but this was like the Okada that we've been seeing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the place where he became Okada, right? And so this was the first time that we got to really see him in that light here on AEW. Man, the work that he did, not just the in-ring portion of it all, of course, but the crowd portion, Reg. There was a moment in this match where he was kind of like the crowd was behind Okada, right? Like, even though it was weird because like obviously he's a heel and people like Pac and all of that, but people were still so hyped up just to see Okada, just to see this match, that by default you were sort of also cheering him. And so he recognizes that, he hypes up the crowd, gets everybody going, and then flips everybody off. And I thought there are some masterful work being done here. But on top of that, this was a reminder that Okada is one of the smartest wrestlers in wrestling. Why, Reg? There was simple things that happened in this match. Like even just from the part where like he was okay with this, with the referee, telling the referee to make sure to do the count, and didn't necessarily care about winning the match in a count out because winning is winning. And I liked little things like that we saw play out throughout this match. Man, this was a good way to kick off the show. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, Denise, I think when Okada came in, there was the controversy of like, they're paying this guy this much. And it's like, no, this is legit in his prime. One of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. Like, this guy's worth every penny. And like you said, he's been presented pretty well. He's the champion, pulls up in the dope cars. He's been in these trios matches with the Young Bucks, and he's looked great. But right here is like, this is Okada. This is 100% Okada. The facials that he had in this match, the little shitty grin that he had when he would do something, the flipping you guys off and turning the crowd in an instant. It's like, this is how you do it. They talked on commentary about for 5 years of his career, he was the IWGP champion. And you see why right here. This is on display. Okada at his peak. The drop kicks there, the Rainmaker to finish it. Pac is just Pac. one of the best bumpers in wrestling history. Like his DDT that he takes anywhere is insane.
Oh my God, that DDT to the outside, it freaking sounded like Okada broke this man's head, bro. That's how loud that sounded.
The DDT, Denise, not a Canadian destroyer, not anything crazy. A regular move makes it look insane. The way that he bumps and sells is crazy. He was on display here too, being like, you guys think Okada's this guy? I know that I'm better than him, and I'm going to show you right now that I'm better than him. And he was exactly right there on the same level as Okada. Just amazing work, I thought, all around, Denise. Okada laughing after he almost broke Pac's neck is just like a great visual and the representation of what he's going to be for the rest of the time here in AEW. I thought it was a great way to show, like, we got world-class wrestlers here, Denise, and we can start the show with one of the best matches you've ever seen, and then you get to the end and your whole mind has changed. So I thought it was a good pacing for the show, starting it like this.
Did you see Goldberg's interview today, by any chance? The quote that came out?
No.
You haven't seen this.
What?
Okay, so I'm bringing this up right now because I thought, damn, what shitty effing timing, all right? I used to be a Goldberg fan. It's getting very, very hard to defend Goldberg after the whole Asuka thing where he couldn't even pronounce her name and made her, just seem less than. And then today, he came out and he said that he wasn't interested in going in AEW because it was, quote, too cheesy. And I thought to myself, too cheesy. I'm sure this interview probably happened before Dynasty, but I'm thinking to myself, what bad timing. Coming out of, look, we're just talking right now. We're just talking about Pac and Okada. Think about that. That wasn't even the match of the night.
Not even close.
We're going to be talking about one of the greatest pro wrestling matches of all time, and it happened in the company that he deemed too cheesy. Isn't it crazy?
I'm just running through all the things that happened in the companies at the time that he was in, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? It's pro wrestling. Like, first of all, like, let's start there. But, like, we don't want you anyways, Goldberg. What are you talking about? Like, who even asked this questioning? Like, we have no interest in seeing you over
Reg. I was a fan.
But he's been saying and doing things like this for so long, Denise. He's like, the wrestling that you guys like, I don't like it.
Dude, I feel like it's gotten to the point where I feel like so many of, like, people that, we grew up being fans of, it's just like they're just, when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you play the bowling game and you have to knock down the little heads, I just feel like all the little heads of my faves just keep going plop, plop, plop.
Yeah. It's because wrestling sucks, Denise. Yeah, I mean, like, there's been so long that before social media, the good thing about before social media is we didn't know about anybody. We didn't know how their lives, and now they're talking and they're doing all these interviews and everybody has podcasts. So we have to continue to hear these voices, and these voices some of them are kind of, I don't want to hear these voices.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because goddamn, was it bad timing.
Billy. Classic Billy.
We got a couple of super chats here from Crazy 101 who says also the Triple H comments about Will Ospreay aged poorly. They were poor comments to begin with.
Off rip. It's not, they aged poorly as soon as they came out of his mouth.
And then Crazy 101 also says, Oldberg is dumb, Denise. Watching Rampage again, clapping emoji.
This weekend, baby. Saturday.
I heard Tony Khan say that in the press conference that we were having 3 hours again this Saturday. And I think my eye went... I just fucking started twitching.
I knew it too. I was watching the presser and I was like, oh, Denise is not going to like that.
And I'm it's on the schedule. I'm supposed to be covering Collision this week.
Yes. Perfect timing. Tony Khan, we appreciate it. But no, what's going on here though?
With what?
This 3 hour thing.
I know. How many times is this now? 3 times? Three times? I think 3 times, right? Maybe 4 times at this point.
In a row.
I missed the day that they did the Battle of the Belts. Remember? Wasn't that back to back with something?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So then it's been 4 times already in the last 2 months, right? Or 3 months.
Yeah.
4 times this year at least that they've done 3 hour blocks. What are they doing, Reg?
I told you what they're doing, Denise. They're preparing us for insertion.
now. That sounds terrible. I don't want to be prepared for insertion.
3 hours, baby.
3-hour insertion? I ain't surviving that.
It's slow. They got it in.
Oh my God. I can't even right now. You know what bums me out though, Reg? And I'll be honest with you. This weekend, what was it? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday I did Collision and Rampage, right? And so I come onto the show, and I spent the first 5 minutes talking about TNA Rebellion.
What?
I know, because there was news that came out of that show, and I had to get to that first before I even got to Collision and Rampage.
What news did you get to from that show, Denise?
Oh, you know what news I got to from that show.
I know. What they doing
hey,
over
Reg,
there?
News is news. If the people want to talk about it, I'm here. All right?
Why don't you just do like a Saturday night general show?
Because, Reg, I would like to have a life once in a while, once in a blue moon. I think it'd be nice. Yeah. All right, so we got a super chat here from Chi-Town Spurs who says the 3-hour stuff is interesting, but in the past, they would have these rampages at like 4 p.m. Central Time, and I think I prefer this. Yeah, those ones were really awkward. When I remember one time I watched Rampage at 2 p.m. here in California, and that was really weird. I'm like, I feel like I should be in school right now. And I don't even go to school.
Yeah, no, it did feel weird. Like when it was happening, I'm like, I can't watch this. I'm supposed to be somewhere.
You're like, where? You have like nothing to do. I'm supposed to be somewhere.
I think I'm supposed to be somewhere. It's not wrestling time right now.
We got 1990K who says, prepared for insertion is my future wedding catchphrase. Well,
Wrestling
since we are on that, there are some people here that are brighter than I am because you guys had a full night of sleep. Dominic Carranza says, if you want to be prepared for insertion, try Blue Chew. And let me tell you, if you try Blue Chew, make sure you do Blue Chew. Code Denise Salcedo. Oh, just Denise. Are you jobbing now in bed? Do you have dreams of main eventing in the sack? Well, have no fear. Blue Chew is here to help you become the champ. Soon you'll make your babyface comeback and get the finish. Blue Chew is the place to go for chewable versions of sildenafil, tadalafil, vardenafil. These ingredients help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer lasting erections for sexual activity. Woo! The chewable tablets help fight off all forms of ED, which can include performance anxiety and maintaining an erection long enough for sex. A Blue Chew subscription includes a free online consultation, 24/7 medical support, a prescription for chewable, sildenafil, tadalafil, vardenafil, if approved, and discreet delivery straight to your door every month, all from the comfort of your own home at affordable prices. No more in-person doctor visits, no more waiting for appointments, and best of all, no more awkwardness. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the description box of this video and click on the link and make sure to use the promo code Denise. Alrighty, and we are back. Again, links in the description box below, guys. Support the sponsors. Support them. All right, so next match that we got here, this is one where I'm probably the chat's going to disagree with me here, but I kind of felt like this match was made, I felt a little bit extra more fun because of the crowd. But to me, this was a collision match that, again, the crowd made it seem bigger than it was, I think. And that was the trios match with the House of Black versus Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe, with the House of Black getting the win. The house always wins. There you go. This to me was a collision match. I'm sorry. I know the people were interested. I saw them be interested, and I was just chilling.
No, I feel you, Denise. This 100% was a collision match. They did my least favorite thing in wrestling, what is deemed the waterfall spot. One person hits their spot, then another person comes in and hits their spot, another person, and that is crowd work. So I understand why I was here. Adam Copeland, Big Pop, Eddie Kingston, great, Mark Briscoe. All the elements are here for the crowd to really be into this. But yeah, it's just a kind of collision match that got added onto here. Not anything bad in it. I liked it. I thought there was a lot of good work from all sides. I'm a huge Brody King fan, but we could have maybe did without it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. This was the match that I ran upstairs to go get a Coca-Cola. So I was like, let's go, baby.
Denise, you can't.
I can't get a Coca-Cola?
You can't say what time you did, though.
Why not?
Because they be
Bro, you know how long these entrances are? Shit, I can go get a Coca-Cola, whatever the hell I want. This ain't freaking. By the way, I was thinking about during this match, actually. I sat down, right? Because I got myself some little Doritos. I got myself my Coca-Cola.
Snackies.
So I sit down, right? And I get my little drink, and it's ice cold, Reg. Oh, you guys, have you the first taste of ice cold soda?
I'm dead, dude.
Ooh, it just hit all of the spots, Reg. I was sitting there going, yeah. Like, I'm not even lying to you.
Is this a commercial?
No, but God, if Coca-Cola wants to sponsor us, go right ahead, man, because, man, it was so good.
I'll drink some Coke right here on air.
Same, all the time.
Drink.
All right. Willow Nightingale, Julia Hart. This was for the TBS Championship, and I think that for the most part, everybody here knows that Julia Hart went into this pretty much hurt. So this match, unfortunately, didn't it didn't go as far as I think it could have gone had Julia Hart not been injured. And in fact, I think it was the shortest match on the card. Yes, it was 6 minutes long. So it was a very short match, but they did what they could out of it. And the big thing, of course, this was all very predictable. I don't think anybody's sitting here going, oh, I'm so shocked. But Willow Nightingale gets her win, which was very cool. There's nobody here that hates Willow Nightingale. Like, Willow Nightingale is so freaking lovable. She's fun as all hell. She's worked her way up to this point. She even spoke about it in the presser, traveling different parts of the world, going to Mexico, going to all of these places to get better as a performer. She wins this match and gets a really nice reaction as well, by the way, when she wins the TBS Championship. Right away, she's confronted by Mercedes Moné, the CEO. And as we all know, because Mercedes said this on Dynamite, that she would be facing the winner of the TBS Championship match at Double or Nothing. And of course, they pretty much gave it away from like the very beginning, because we know the story here between Mercedes and Willow. This was already written on the walls, but we're seeing the writing on the walls come to life.
Totally. First of all, get well soon to Julia Hart. She, we know that she kind of went into this hurt. She's been hurt for some time now. It feels like, or sounds like. So for her to be able to even get to this position, good on her. And she, 6 minutes for the condition that it sounds like she in, that's impressive. This whole thing was to have a big moment for Willow, though, and I think it was a big moment. Had her family there in the crowd. Denise got to look strong, got to have that big Willow moment. She's there. She's charismatic, big heart. Like, it was a feel-good moment, I thought. And having Mercedes come out there to confront her and kind of take away from her moment, I think it plays into the whole situation that they have going on here. So I did like that. Just unfortunate that Julia got hurt right before it and they didn't get to really cook, because I think if they would have been given the opportunity, some time, not injuries concerning this, they really would have had something amazing. I thought Julia Hart brought something different to the TBS Championship, as someone brought up in the presser. There's been different iterations of this championship and people have carried it in a different way, and she's brought her spookiness, she brought character, she brought something different to it, so good on her for that. Super excited for Willow, though. Like you said, if you hate Willow, like, I'll fight you. Like, how do you hate Willow? What's going on here? It doesn't even make sense. She's worked pretty hard to get to this position, kind of started from the bottom and got to prominence type superstar. We got to watch her from the beginning, AEW Dark type stuff, to being the TBS champion. It's a great story to tell. She was amazing in the presser too, just happy to be there. It was really awesome.
I thought you were going to say started from the bottom. Now we here.
No, I'm not going to say that, Denise.
Oh, man. But like, I heard it and I wanted to finish it.
No,
no?
Don't.
Okay.
Denise, why didn't you say nothing in the presser?
Dude, I was tired. Every now and then I have these things where, at least moments where I'm like, I got nothing to really say. I got nothing to really ask.
I've been with you at a few show where you say that.
All of these, sometimes I just don't have anything. I'm just like, whatever. You guys take it away. I'm going to sit here, press record, listen. And here's the thing, like sometimes you just have to listen. And if there is an honest to God thing that comes up, then you can be like, oh, hey, let's fact check that. Let me get some clarification here. Versus like, I don't want to sit there and be like, hey, what does it mean to you to perform in this city?
Yeah.
Nobody cares but like one outlet. So I'm just like, no, it's late. We need to let's go. Like
Denise
this was
throwing
one
shots.
of no, but it happens in every single
Every
scrum.
presser. Yeah.
Every presser, the city questions. When are you going to this city? When are you going to that
gonna
city? Are
come
you coming back
back?
to the city?
Yeah.
Let's just there's some questions that I'm like, I'm bored. Like, let's
We need
go.
something important. I felt like that too. I'm
Right.
about to turn this off, you guys.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's times and there are certain events depending on the news week too that you're at, right? There's certain news weeks where you're like, oh, I got so much. But keep in mind, like Tony Khan had already spoken about a lot of things. He did like 3 interviews where he spoke about, and I know this because I follow the news cycle, so there really wasn't anything new. He did like 3 interviews where he spoke about the footage. He did the media call right afterwards. So there was all of these places where these questions were the most need to know questions were already asked. And I don't want to go out there and ask the same question just for the sake of asking a question. So for me, it's like, okay, well, if I really got something, great, I'll go ahead and do it. If I don't got nothing, move along.
Yeah, because I was thinking at Willow's, she was like, there's been a bunch of women journalists answering. I was like, here comes Denise. Denise is coming. And then you never.
During that time, I was actually uploading, because you know me, obviously. So I was doing people got to understand. So during this, I'm not just sitting there.
No.
Like, I'm not just sitting there. I'm uploading, I'm editing, I'm tweeting, I'm taking photos, I'm shooting, I'm making sure that while I'm not looking up at the camera, that nobody moved the hell out of the frame. And so I'm kind of doing a bunch while I'm just sitting there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and then I have to do it softly and quietly, because then if I start making too much noise, then that's just rude. So I'm like moving very quietly, connecting things, and I'm like bringing out this, bringing out that. And so there's a lot happening at the moment, but sometimes, especially when you're at all of these, you're just there, just a fly on the wall.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Don't worry. When Denise has a question, she'll ask.
And you're like you're interviewing everybody all the time. Like it's different for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I was going to say next, Reg.
I don't know. We're moving forward.
Gotham Guy sends in a very generous super chat saying, Denise, when Statlander entered the ring, the crowd got louder. She hesitated for a few seconds before hugging Willow. Did you guys think she was turning heel? Because that's the impression I got. My friend, that's the impression everybody got, and that is why that reaction was there, Reg, because everybody thought that she was going to turn on Willow. But then the moment where they all hug with Stokely and Chris, and they all hug and have this big sweet friendship moment, everybody was like, yeah, like we wanted you to fight 10 seconds ago, but now that you're hugging, let's all be happy about it. But yeah, I think this was the impression everybody got.
Yeah, I'm under the impression that she's going to turn heel, but I didn't think it was going to happen last night because I knew that the Mercedes thing was going to fill that whatever space of story they needed to tell. They're going to do the Statlander thing sometimes. Could be here on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Ooh, okay. We got Mike T90K here who says, Denise, why didn't you ask Ospreay what his glute resume is? Resume? Why can I? Resume. Yeah. Guys, I'm running on a little bit of sleep right now. I can't read words at this moment. Give me simple words right now.
I'm dead.
Right now, my IQ level is like that of like it's a first grade level at this moment. Right. But no. So Ospreay, by the way, like that was he always goes out there and gives a very fun press conference. Obviously, this time it was a little different because he was selling some things. We'll talk about that in a minute, but good stuff. Next, I'll keep that one in my back pocket. Future questions for Will Ospreay. All right, but before we get to that, let's get into Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International Championship match. I thought this was probably maybe the second, third weakest match on the card, honestly.
Denise, I knew you were going to say this too. I remember I want somebody to run back the tape, probably Crazy 101. I was like, Denise is not going to like this match. And you keep saying that, but you're a liar.
I'm not a liar, Reg. There's no point in me lying.
You're a liar, Denise. You keep saying, I'm a Roderick Strong fan, but after every single Roderick Strong match, you're like, I'm bored.
Oh, wait, yeah. Was it Roderick Strong that you said that I didn't like?
Yes. This is all about Roderick Strong.
Sorry.
You're always like, I like him, blah, blah, blah. I was Roderick Strong for Halloween. And then after every Roderick Strong match, you're like, that was the most boring match I ever saw in my whole life. What's up, Denise?
Okay, now you're adding words. I did not sit here and say that was the most boring match I ever saw in my life. I said it was the second to third weakest match on the card. In what way is that the worst match of my life?
Because you send little Z's to me,
I
you're bored.
Chris Jericho and Hook.
All right. Okay.
You really want to sit here and tell me I thought that this was the worst match of my life?
Listen, you guys, I'm just giving Denise shit. I thought this match was awesome. If you like some Ring of Honor.
You know what, Reg? You're just trying to win the crowd over. You're just out here being like, I'm the baby face of this freaking channel. All of a sudden, I'm Chris Jericho. People want me to go home because I'm going to break a hip.
Please retire.
Please retire.
Did you participate? Okay, we're gonna get to that. Let me talk about Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
This match was so good. You don't even want to talk about it. You're already moving on to the next one, Reg. Go ahead.
I'm tired of you. Listen. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, they went for it. If you like that ROH grapple shit, just some punching and kicking, slapping chops, this was it. I thought they really went for it. This crowd, though, I don't know if they were ready for exactly that. Is that the impression that I'm getting to, Denise? Like, you guys weren't at that position and timing, you weren't really ready for what these guys gave to you.
Reg, if it's good, you're ready for it whenever you get it.
No, it was good, though.
But was it? You literally just said it right now. You said the crowd wasn't ready for it. I mean, unless everybody in there was me.
Because look, if this match happened like somewhere else, it would
you literally just contradicted your whole point, Reg. You were like, this match was so good. And then you were like, I don't think the crowd was ready for it. Yet this was one of the best crowds AEW has had. And they ate everything up, man.
Damn it. I'm trying
even when I thought the crowd was dead for a certain match, they didn't die. Even when I thought a crowd was going to be too tired to focus on another match, they weren't. So that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if AEW crowds get Roderick Strong. I don't know if they really truly understand what makes him great. And so I don't know what the disconnect is where I'll land.
I almost feel like maybe they didn't necessarily have to rehash this whole story.
With Kyle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like this was, we get it. We know their history from NXT. We all know it. Maybe just cool. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Right. Like we don't have to. Do we have to rehash everything we see in WWE over in AEW?
Mm-mm.
Probably not.
See, the issue is they're trying to tell like the Ring of Honor story too. They're trying to be like, not even NXT, forget about that. Back in ROH, they were this. And so that sometimes doesn't connect. And I think it's the situations like this that it is, All
right. So you're saying if you watch Ring of Honor,
yes, you
enjoyed this match.
Yes.
Or had a bigger chance of enjoying this match.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, Reg. I won't fight you on this. You're here to state your opinion. Your opinion has been given. Mike T90K says this match should have been left off of the card and main evented Collision. This is in my burner, Reg. These are the people.
See, that's the thing. That's exactly what I said. I said, if this match would happen somewhere else, like if this is a Collision main event, we would have been like, man, they went crazy. But like on this match with this placement in the card, with what the crowd wanted, I don't know.
Dr. Wargard says, Denise, you look so gorgeous today. Thank you. I am running on 1 hour and 19 minutes of sleep plus airplane sleep, where the lady next to me and the flight attendant, by the way, got into a big ass fight.
Yo.
Yeah, dude. It was awkward. So on my flight from Phoenix to Los Angeles, dude, when I tell you I messed things up, I really messed things up. So both my flights to and from St. Louis had to stop. So I couldn't even sleep the whole way through because I had to get off, walk, find my gate, wait again, get back in the plane, go back into the plane. Both times I had stops. So kind of ruined the flow. But anyways, so the lady next to me, this was very awkward. So I do this thing, by the way, and this is a trick. If you have a hard time sleeping on planes, I have the secret for you.
Drugs.
The secret is no. I mean, maybe drugs, sure. Okay, the secret is making the airplane as dark as possible.
Yes.
So what I always do is either I take a face mask or if I have like anything, I'll put it on top of myself. Whether it's my hood, I'll move it all the way forward. I'll do anything. So this time I put a whole jacket like an umbrella over my head and I covered the whole thing. I look like the girl from The Ring on the plane. And so I'm laying there and there's no one. It's the middle seat is empty. And the girl at the window, it's the girl at the window, empty seat, me in the aisle, and the flight attendant. And they're going at it the whole time over this woman's bag because this woman was not allowed to bring on her carry-on because apparently it was too wide. I didn't see the bag. The woman said that was BS because there was people with bigger bags than her and she felt like she had been singled out. So they're going at it. Meanwhile, I'm in the middle with my freaking blazer and I'm just there no selling the entire fight. And so, like things got feisty, man. And I was just sitting there no selling the entire thing.
That sounds awkward. And those flight attendants, Denise, they get chippy up there. They got some like crazy energy that it could come out instantly. So I definitely know the energy that was probably there.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh man,
awkward.
I just want to sleep, guys. I just want to sleep. But there you go. That was that. All right. Well, speaking of just wanting to sleep. Oh man. All right, let me rephrase that. We had the FTW championship match and an FTW rules match. Chris Jericho defeated Hook. Where do I begin, Reg? Where do you want me to start here?
Why?
There you go. Let's start with the why.
Who wanted this?
Chris Jericho. Maybe Hook. Not Hook. No, not Hook. Unless he did. I don't know.
What was this for, Denise? I'm still like, it's the most confused that I've been in a while.
Look, in pro wrestling, we're always talking about heat, right? It's good to get heat. We understand that. However, wrestling fans also know that there's heat and then there's go away heat.
Yeah.
And this was full of go away heat. But I fear that they are okay with that. I actually think that they decided to take the go away heat as just plain old your ordinary heat and run with it. Reg, the entire time, the people, like the whole crowd was like, Fozzy sucks, go home Jericho, you suck. I mean, you guys were hearing the chants. There were some that went through that you guys probably couldn't even hear because some of them were hard to make out, but the crowd wanted this match to end. The crowd did not want to watch this match. People, I like to listen to people's conversations. People next to me were like, man, Jericho just needs to take a break, blah, blah, blah. There was people going, this fucking sucks, like, end this. Like, people, like, again, I'm listening to people's conversations. I don't got that work that hard because they're yelling it so I can hear it. And they're chanting, please retire. I mean, it was not good in terms of the reactions from the crowd. However, I think AEW took that as, well, they're reacting. He's getting the heat. And look at how interested they are in Hook kicking out of these near falls. And then I'm thinking, why do that if you're not going to have Hook win? We were all like willing to go with this match as much as possible because we all thought Hook was going to win. Totally. Then there was a moment towards the end when I think Jericho hit him with the bat, right? And Taz stands up. And there's this huge pop because Taz stands up. And then the match ended. Chris Jericho defeated Hook. And I'm like, why the fuck did Taz stand up? Bro, what? All of this, Reg, it was just not good. And I fear they think it was.
It's the Baron Corbin problem that they had for a while in WWE, where it's like he's getting heat, but it's like, no, it's not the heat that you want. Like, he's not becoming a better heel. Like, I'm turning my TV off heat. And that's, you don't want I'm turning my TV off heat. And this was I'm turning my TV off heat. He kept trying to do this I'm sorry I love you thing with the bats and the.
They've known each other for like 2 weeks.
Right. Like, I'm like, exactly what you're saying, Denise. They want us to have this think they have this emotional attachment, and they just don't. So I'm not emotionally invested in this. No one is. So why are you giving us this? The match is happening and things are happening. The big T-bone suplex, it's interesting. They're doing stuff. That's cool. Blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, none of us care about this. The crowd does not care. They're chanting everything under the sun. When people get locked into chants like back to back to back to back to back, like something's going on here. This isn't good heat when fans are like, all right, what can we chant next? Because we hate it here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, the fans were having fun chanting shit.
Right. Like
that was the highlight of the match. Like,
that's what made the match, is the fans having a good time hating the match. I don't know why Chris Jericho wants to kill his goodwill. Maybe you're right, Denise. Maybe they're at the point of like, this is good. Like, all heat is good heat, but it looks crazy.
That's what I'm thinking, honestly. Now, here's the thing. AEW, you can say all of this shit about AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. AEW knows their audience. They know their fan base. There has been probably just a very few handful of times, and we can probably pinpoint them because there's been such few times where they did not deliver in the sense that what your audience expected, right? And I'm not saying you always have to give us what we want. Of course not, right? That's not what we're asking here. But I think we're asking for it to make sense and to not stink up the joint, right? One of those moments, okay, remember when everybody wanted that audible called during the freaking tag team match at, what was it, like, was it All Out, I think it was?
All Out, I think.
Yeah, yeah. With Swerve and Keith Lee and the Acclaimed. Okay, that was one where that moment kind of felt like, oh, like everybody's talking about it. There should have been an audible, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That was one moment. Another one, the Guns winning the tag team titles. I think that was another moment that was like, eh. There are very few moments, Reg, and this to me was one of them. This was one of those moments where I feel like AEW forgot or did not understand what their crowd wanted. Or maybe they did understand and they just decided to go against the grain with it. I don't know. But they went against it.
There's some exceptions to this rule, and that's Chris Jericho. Like, every time, I think, like you're saying, AEW knows their fan base. They do research. They're on social media. Like, they know if something bad happens, they know that it happened. They're not like, oh, we did it, we don't care. Like, they know exactly what fans are saying. They know why they're saying it. And Chris Jericho is consistently attached to things like this, Denise, and they just are like, we don't care. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. But when he's involved, it's like none of that matters. And it's starting to become frustrating because wrestlers like Hook are attached to this, and like, Hook doesn't deserve the heat that's attached to this. He's just trying to become a better wrestler. He's trying to do his thing, get some more reps in, and now he's attached to this Chris Jericho vortex. So here we go. It's happening in real time, and it's just unfortunate. But like, for a show like this, Denise, we're about to see some amazing wrestling. Why are we seeing this right now?
And here's the
palate
thing,
cleanse?
For the most part, Reg, like, they have done pretty well with Hook, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when he first came in on that, what was it, Rampage? Was it first me? I was Rampage. Mm-hmm. I remember like the buzz for just him wrestling on that card when he had this whole friendship with Danhausen. Yeah, it was a little corny, but people liked it, right? People had fun with it. It wasn't the best thing, but whatever. They had fun with it. They could have done a little bit more. Whatever. The match with Samoa Joe. That was a reminder of like, you know what? He's a young kid, but damn, can he go out there and actually put on a very entertaining match with somebody that, you know, because you can argue that some people are going to be like, oh, he looks like a little kid, you can't buy it, blah, blah, blah. Like, you see this stuff on social media. But I think like that match with Samoa Joe, for example, kind of proved that he can hang in there with some of the very best and have fun matches like this, right? Of course, he's still growing. That's fine. And so what I'm saying is, like, for the most part, it's been good for Hook.
Yeah.
And then this happened, and I'm thinking, I thought we were going to put this kid in a bubble in the sense of in a few years, like, this is going to be one of AEW's top stars. So put this kid in a freaking bubble and make sure you're booking him properly so that when we get to that point, people are like, fuck yeah, like, we've been waiting for this moment for Hook. But this put a damper on that. It really, really did put a damper on that. And I felt it the second that Jericho won. Everyone had did you see that? Am I wrong? There was a 3 count. Everybody saw that. Like, everybody was confused. And there was this like sucking of the air type of thing where the people were like, oh, AEW really did that to us right now. And I feared for the women when they came on immediately after that. And we'll talk about them in a second, but that was where I was at with in regards to this match.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how many singles losses Hook has had, Denise. It's not a lot. It's like less than 5. I want to see this guy lose. Wins and losses, I get insane about him. I want to see Hook lose, but I do not want to see Hook lose to Chris Jericho. Like, if we're giving, like, he has so little wins and so many little losses, and if a loss means something to Hook, why are we giving it to Chris Jericho? That doesn't make any sense at all. If we're trying to do something with this championship, why is Chris Jericho holding it? It just, all of this did not make sense. That's the first thing I tweeted when it happened, Denise. Wait, what just happened? Like, I'm still like, what happened here?
My reaction was, dude, but like a sad dude, not like a dude. It was a sad dude.
But like a sad dude.
A sad dude. I was like, bro, I was stunned, Reg.
Sick, dude.
I was stunned. Uriel Landero says, get Jericho off TV. Reg, please talk to Will. LaRon Ford says that Jericho Hook match had no business being on the card, let alone 16 minutes and 30 seconds. That's how long it went. My God. RX Merle says if Hook shows up in Orlando, this match is why. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody has come out here and defended this match, all right? If anybody wants to come out and defend this match, please take the floor. We got Stewie Griffin here who says, just saying, best show I've been to. Seeing Sky Blue and Okada watching Will versus Brian from one of the curtains makes me extremely excited for the future of AEW. I agree. And thankfully, the end of the show completely made me go, I'm not going to talk about that other thing.
Yep.
Let's not talk about it because the other stuff was really that good. It was a great show, Stewie. I'm glad you got to experience it. And thank you so much for the generous super chat, man. We got Mike T90K here who says, how dare those ass clowns in St. Louis chants, please retire to my hero. I would kill to have that body when I'm 55, Grandpa Bod.
Well, that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, well, yeah, me too. But like, do something else. Did
you see my tweet, Reg? So yesterday I tweeted that when the crowd was chanting, please retire, this guy was like, he's just a kid.
He's not a kid.
He was talking about Hook, but the crowd was talking about Jericho. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So like, it's not like, because they were just chanting, please retire, please retire. And then the guy's like, he's just a kid.
Denise, how ridiculous do you think it is, though, that people are like, oh, that means Hook is going to the WWE?
I don't think it's ridiculous, but I mean, he's so young. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back and forth, bounces around from AEW.
He's definitely going to go, but I don't think this is the thing that's going to send him.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that. You're right.
We don't know that. No idea. We got well-rounded Leo who says, I'm sorry, I like Hook, but needs to go to NXT. Hook has not evolved since a star thing since AEW. That's because of things like this. When Hook finished that match with Samoa Joe, we were all talking like, oh my God, Hook, this, that, whatever. It was all positive conversation. But then we get stuff like this, and all of a sudden, we got comments where we're like, we're not interested in Hook now.
Yeah, I mean, going from that excitement that we had off that Samoa Joe match into the Jericho Vortex is probably not the best idea, Denise.
Here's the other thing. I don't think this is over yet, Reg, because think about it. Think about it. This Wednesday, or was it this Wednesday or last Wednesday, where Jericho shoved Taz?
That was the Wednesday that just passed.
Okay, thank you. So he shoves Taz, and we were all talking about how Hook should have done more, right? Hook should have knocked his lights out. He did not. Then he gets beaten here. At what point does he get his revenge for what Jericho did to his father? You can't leave this man. You can't leave this guy to go on and continue his AEW career knowing full well that he never got to successfully defend his father.
Damn,
This is not
Denise.
over, Reg.
It's not. It's not over at all. Hook has to get his revenge. He hasn't gotten his revenge yet. He lost his belt. He pushed his dad down. Like, there's still more story to tell. And like,
We're probably going to see this match at Double or Nothing.
oh no, Denise.
I'm just kidding. I don't know that.
We might.
No, I'm wrong. That's not happening.
I hope you are.
I hope I am too. I don't even know why I
Oh.
said that. But you never know. What else is Jericho and Hook going to do?
Tag team.
Why? He shoved his dad. I'm tagging with him after shoving my dad.
He learned a lesson.
Oh, man. We got a very generous super chat here from Wrestling with the Devil, Lee Cole. A Lee Cole 111 podcast. That's new subscriber. Enjoy your content. Thank you so freaking much. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for showing all the support. Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
got
guys.
Crazy 101 who says FTW should be retired. Jericho should go on tour.
He has a band.
Yeah.
Have you
I
been
don't
on
know
the
their tour
Jericho
schedule.
cruise? Jericho
No,
cruise?
I don't do cruises. I watched the Titanic. I don't do cruises. I'm not about that life, Reg.
One ship in like 1939, and you're like,
I don't care.
we're good here.
I'm done. I will never, and mark my words, never go on a cruise. Like, that's the one thing I will never do.
One ship. There's been like thousands of other ships, and you're like, nah, just that one.
No. And like you see these ships and they're so huge. Like they're huge.
Giant.
And I think about all of the people in this confined space, and you swear every person in that ship is Mr. Clean. Like, I don't want to be stuck on a ship with a bunch of people that are going to gross me out, like in terms of like anything, like any vacation. Like, I go places, like even just today on the LA exit bus, everybody got shoved in there like sardines. There was this guy next to me who was having this panic attack. And I'm like, bro, we're going 2 minutes around the freaking corner. And this dude's making these nasty sounds. He's going, "Urgh, urgh, urgh." Why? I have no idea. And then he starts like saying, is this almost over? And I'm like, is this guy having like a claustrophobia attack? I
Is
have
this
no
almost over?
idea. He starts going, he starts breathing really loudly. And I'm like, dude, you need to calm down. What is happening right now? And I think he was kind of being a diva. That was the vibe that I got. I think he was upset that and here's the thing, Reg, he was sitting down by the window. Everybody else was standing, holding on to the things. And this guy was acting like he was dying on this 2-minute bus ride. So imagine that on a cruise where you can't get out.
Yeah.
This is why I will never go on a cruise.
I went on one. It was kind of nasty. Everything you're
see what I'm
saying is
saying?
the thing. Yeah, I was like, get me off of this boat, you guys.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Like, if you even think about it, you're like, ugh.
That's why I don't do buffets anymore, because I've seen some stuff. I get grossed out very easily.
People
so
are
like,
disgusting.
yes.
Mhm.
And so that's why I'm like, no, I'm not going to take my chances on any cruise ship because I just don't know what's going to happen.
Respect.
And then somebody's going to be stealing my boat when I'm trying to get off. My only thing that I have going for me is that I fall into the women and children category. So I will be allowed in the little boat before.
So at the end of it, pirates are going to take over? I don't think that's how this works, Denise.
Reg, I saw Titanic, all right?
One movie, and she's like, that is it.
I am not going to do it. You think I'm going to survive like Rose did?
The
She
real
was cold as
question
hell.
is, would you let your husband on the little raft so he could live too? Or
You know,
let him
that's
drift
the
off
saddest.
sea?
That's the saddest part in Titanic, by the way, when Rose is going down on the little boat and she's watching Leo. She's watching as he watches her, and then they show the shots of the little girls crying for their daddy, and then they start playing the Celine Dion song.
Mhm.
That's the part that breaks me, Reg, every damn time. And you want to know? This should never happen had they never gotten on that ship.
But would you have made room for your husband, Denise?
But they didn't allow that to. It
What
was
you
only women
mean?
and children. Have you
I-
not seen Titanic?
Why would I watch Titanic, Denise?
You've never seen Titanic?
Why would I
Reg.
take 3 hours of my life to watch a movie that got you never to want to be on a
Because it's
boat
one of
ever
the
again in your
greatest,
life?
movies ever. I really love that movie. That's why I told you, women and children, they get on the little boats first. So, like, even if you wanted to bring your husband or your dad or your brother or your son or whatever, you couldn't because it was women and children first.
He looked like he was like 15 years old. It would have worked out.
Well, they didn't let him.
I would have been like, look, I'm a child, dude. It's me.
They,
I'm just a little kid.
point is, also they're bad for the ocean.
Also, yeah, they're nasty.
You see what I mean? All right, Johnny says Jericho and Hook going to have a best of 7 series.
Ooh.
Johnny, I'm coming for you if this happens.
Jericho
I'm gonna
would
come find you.
Oh,
Well-rounded Leo says, what's the point of the FTW title?
nobody knows.
I don't got an answer for you.
Nah, I don't think anyone knows.
I was hoping you had a good answer.
Nope.
See, everybody here, by the way, is saying that you should have watched Titanic.
What do I look like watching Titanic, you guys?
Watch Titanic, Reg.
Look at me and then look at Titanic.
Just watch Titanic, Reg.
Look at me and then look at Titanic.
Just watch Titanic.
Look at me and then look at Titanic.
All right. Okay, let's move on from here. Toni Storm, Thunder Rosa. This was the match that for the beginning, I thought, oh my God, after Jericho and Hook, we've lost it. Like, poor girls, they're put in the death spot. That's what I was thinking. I want to credit both Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm because they put on a match that did not allow people to die.
Yep.
They did not allow it. They were like, nope, you guys are going to pay attention to us. We're going to make you pay attention to us. They fought for that. And I was afraid that they were in the death spot here because they really felt like they were. And they came out of it. This was one of Toni Storm's strongest matches as AEW Women's Champion in this timeless Toni Storm version of hers. This was very fun. The crowd was actually... There was a good mixture of the crowd that wanted Thunder Rosa to win. And so it made it really exciting to see that dynamic of the crowd that wanted Toni, the crowd that wanted part of the crowd that wanted Thunder. This was a fun matchup. I liked it, what they did here.
Yeah, I think, Denise, a couple weeks and months ago, we were talking about Toni Storm combining the character and the in-ring stuff. And I think Toni Storm got online and saw a bunch of people talking shit and was like, you guys think I can't work out here? And for the last couple weeks, specifically the Azumi match that she had on Collision, oh my God, super fire. It was like, oh yeah, you guys forgot I can go out here. Again, she showed last night, like, you guys are excited about all this stuff on this show. You haven't been talking about my match. You guys think that we're in the death spot, all this stuff. But when me and Thunder Rosa get in the ring, it's fire. And that's exactly what it was. These two women are just incredible from bell to bell. So I knew their dynamics together would be great. The story that they told when they did have the opportunity, I thought was great. Thunder never lost the belt. She still thinks she's the rightful champion. Toni Storm is in another world, not even focused on the championship. But when they get to the ring, they did that promo. Toni had a couple promos coming into this that sold the match, I thought. This match was really awesome, though. I thought Thunder Rosa had a chance. There was a couple of near falls where I was like, oh, maybe we're doing it, but we weren't. I thought having the shenanigans of Deonna and Mariah May just kind of brawling to get some extra excitement on the match was good. They executed in this spot, Denise, a tough spot. Tougher spot would be after Bryan and Will Ospreay, but I thought this was a really tough spot considering the crowd was almost, they weren't dead because you guys were cheering for your own stuff during the match, but in a weird position.
Yes, exactly. So they pulled through in what could have been like a disaster, but no, they pulled through and they did very, very well. We got Sheldon Jackson here who gifted 5 DWL memberships. Thank you so much, Sheldon. We got LaRon Ford here who sends in a very generous super chat saying, why did the women's world title match only get 15 minutes when every men's match on the card got at least 16 minutes? It makes the women's title feel unimportant in comparison to the other titles. I actually, look, here's the thing. I'm looking at this card. They're all roughly like, I actually think that's a good amount of time because you're looking at this and it got 15 minutes and 10 seconds. The Jericho match got 16 minutes. Roderick and Kyle, 17 minutes, way too much. House of Black and the Trios match, 17 minutes. Okada Pac, 21 minutes. And then the other matches went a little bit longer, which of course deserved to. I kind of feel like this was not bad in terms of the time limits. And unfortunately, the Willow Julia one situation was different because of Julia's injury, and that one was only 6 minutes, but that was due to injury.
They could have shaved 4 minutes off of all those middle matches, the triple threat or the trios match, the Jericho match, and the Roddy Strong and Kyle match. They could have shaved 4 minutes off of all of them and gave some more time to the women, I think, at least.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. But I didn't think that the time discrepancies were as far off as some other stuff that we've seen.
Totally.
LaRon Ford, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you, man. All righty. So here we go. It's that time. Reg, it's that time. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, in what was actually the longest match of the night, since we're talking about times here, with 32 minutes and 40 seconds. And my God, they went like this. I don't even know where to begin. So I mentioned earlier that the loudest reaction that I've heard in a very long time, with just the bell ringing, that was the moment that I felt happy, because I was like, fuck yeah, everyone in this building is as excited as I am. No one here is going to let me down. Like, I loved that the whole time people kept the chants going, whether it was for Ospreay or Bryan or both. People kept the energy going, Reg, and that just fed off so freaking nicely. But the way that I described this match after it finished was, we're always sitting here. We've seen so many great matches, Reg. We truly have. We've seen great matches. We're always talking about how this was match of the night, match of the year, 5 stars, whatever it is that you used to describe a really great match. When I came off of this match, I thought those words, those phrases, not enough. It's not enough. I don't even know how to describe this match, but it's not enough. All I know, Reg, is that during this match, I was so swept off my feet. I wasn't thinking about 5 million things in my head. I wasn't thinking about anything other than what I was seeing, and I was reacting to what I was seeing. I felt like a little kid, man. I felt like a little freaking kid, genuinely being excited about it. The sequences that we got, the surprises. There were certain moments where I'm like, I don't know what he's going to do next. And there were all of these surprises in the matchup that kept you going, oh shit, you can do that? I've never seen that. Little things like that. This was a beautiful match, a great wrestling match, and this one just proved once and for all, like Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, they are the greatest of their time, and we're freaking lucky that we got to see this match.
Where do I start? There's just so much that went into this match. We talked about it on our show a few days ago. You were like, what if the expectations aren't that? What if they don't execute? And I was like, there's no way. These are the 2 best wrestlers in the entire world. There's no way that they can't. And even they exceeded my expectation. I had the highest expectations because these are the 2 best wrestlers, and still I was blown away. Denise, they could have shown me exactly what they were going to do in this match before I saw the match, and I still would have had those same reactions. That's how great those guys were. The story that they told in this was awesome, I thought. Will Ospreay has said every time that he's talked into any mic, I'm the best wrestler in the world. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care where anybody is. It's me. Bryan Danielson really thinks that, so if you say that, you have to prove it against me. I love that Will Ospreay's only been here in AEW for a few weeks, few months at this point, and they got right to this match, because it's like, if I want to continue on AEW as this person, I got to beat that person. All the expectations, all the build-up, and then exactly what you're saying, Denise, they get to the ding, 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 and just the stare down, and you're like, oh, we're off. Like, I just knew, like, they could have did a bunch of headlocks and it still would have been amazing just off the crowd reaction. Wrestling's about a lot, Denise. Like, the spots, all that. I love the flips. I love this. But if the crowd is not into it, like, that match was a 10-star match. If the crowd was a blah, 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 it would have just been a 5-star match. Like, they added 5 extra stars. You guys added 5 extra stars. There was so much in this match that was just, like, mind-blowing. Them knowing every single thing about each other. Ospreay said in the presser that he's wanted this match since he was a kid. He's watched Bryan Danielson since he was a little kid, and like, I want to do what that guy does. I want to be with them. So he knew everything that he was going to see in this match. Bryan Danielson, the same thing. He studies every single wrestler that he gets into. So you knew it was going to be a bunch of counters, a bunch of back and forth, a bunch of things, knowing that they were going to be in those positions and knowing how to get out of those positions. The strikes in this were insane. Ospreay kind of getting fed up with playing this Bryan Danielson game. Bryan Danielson hitting him with some of the hardest slaps I've ever seen in the world, and Ospreay countering back and knocking Bryan Danielson the fuck out. coming into this, I knew that he was gonna drop Bryan Danielson on his head, and I was hating it. I'm like, I don't want this because I know Bryan's history, but I know the type of wrestler that Bryan Danielson is, and I know that he's gonna tease us like this, and he's gonna do that stupid seizure cell that I hate so much, and he did it in this match, Denise, and it got me every time. Them both facing off for the Busaiku knee and the hidden blade face to face. Who's gonna hit it? And Ospreay hits the nastiest hidden blade you've ever seen in your life. The end of teasing the doctor is gonna come in, and Ospreay says that he didn't see the doctor. Great story to tell, knocking Bryan out. This was everything we expected plus more. Two of the best wrestlers. Bryan's about to retire, but he's still in his prime. I don't even know. It doesn't make sense. Will Ospreay's the best wrestler in the world, number one right now at this day and time. Put anybody in the world against him, and they can't. So to see all those elements, the crowd, the results, amazing, Denise. I don't like my brain. I have to watch it 20 more times to really digest it. It's just like, I'm so happy that we get these dream matches and then they actually execute. Like, you could say, here, it's all the matches in the world. And sometimes like, oh, that was fun. This was like, okay, this was a dream match, and the dream has came true.
Exactly. Like I had said, I was afraid that it wasn't going to meet my expectations. My expectations were a little too extreme. And like, I agree with you. They exceeded my expectations. And that's crazy to say considering how high they were.
Like how?
But God, like you brought up some of those moments, like when you know what it felt like? It's like almost watching this duel, right? Who's going to shoot first? Who's going to shoot first? I remember the portion where Bryan hit him with the Busaiku knee, and I'm going, oh my God. Like it was literally like shots fired type of reaction to that. Yeah. That's literally how it felt. And
off
so
the
watching
cutter into the knee. Oh my God. Insane.
It was like, what the hell? And all of those moments and things that they did, it was just so creative. And there are certain things you could only do with certain competitors, and they knew what they could get out of each other. There was a really cool sequence, like pretty early in the match, where you were mentioning those strikes, right? But there was this moment where we were just seeing, God, I don't even know what they did. Like, I have to go back and rewatch this again, because like just seeing the way that they would counter certain things to try to get their hit in on the other guy, like that was just phenomenal. The moment
there was one spot that Ospreay does this thing where the opponent flips him up into like a moonsault type thing, and he lands on his feet, and you guys were like, yeah, you guys were like, you would have thought that you seen like the Americas win the gold at that point, like, and that was just like one little thing, and that's when I was like, this match is gonna be insane.
Yes, exactly that. And like there was moments too where because they would kind of do a little bit of both, right? Work a little bit of Bryan style, work a little bit of Will Ospreay style. And there was moments where you saw that they were getting ready to like pick things up. You saw the way that they were like running the ropes, and you're like, all right, here we go. But everything that they gave us, it was like this unexpected, holy crap type of thing. I don't even know how to describe this match, man. Wow. It was awesome. If you watched it, hell yeah. If you didn't watch it, please, I urge you, if you can, if you have the means, go out of your way to watch this match, man. It was completely worth the pay-per-view. People are calling it one of the greatest matches of all time. Ever, guys. And they're not lying. And I don't want this. I know this already became that, because I was told that on social media it already became a tribalism thing. And I'm like, stop it, guys. Let's just fucking enjoy this for what it was. A great wrestling match. At the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. Exactly. And this one gave it to us. It doesn't matter what company it happened in. If this would have fucking happened in WWE, I would have been so goddamn thrilled. This happened in AEW, so goddamn thrilled. Whatever. It really did its job. And it was, I don't even know. It was incredible. Can't wait to rewatch this, man. The second that fucking AEW gets their streaming deal business in order, I'm going to go right now. AEW Dynasty 2024. Click.
We got to wait fast
forward. And get into that match, man. All right, we got some super chats to get into. Here we go. Let's see what we got. And let me see where I left off here with all of these. All right, this one's from Juan Ortega, who says, rename Blue Chew to Dragon Bruv, all-star performance. I can't. You guys are too much. I can't. We got an Amdrag here who says Brian had 2 moments with Kenny and Ospreay at Arthur Ashe and St. Louis, respectively, where a crowd went nuts after the ring bell in AEW. But wow. Yeah, that was another one. Another one because people were like, dude, we're actually seeing this.
Yep.
Great stuff. Envy, the engineer, says the counter into the one-arm Styles Clash was one of the best counters I've ever seen. It was so smooth, epic. Everybody was like, holy shit, Styles Clash, what?
Insane. One-arm style clash. I yelled. I screamed.
We got Mighty 90K here who says a match of this caliber needed a big stage, and AEW is that stage. Telling stories in the ring can work in 2024. Top 20 match of all time. Like, for me, it's like, it's my favorite. Like, I can't think of another match that I loved more than this.
I can't think of the elements being together like this, of like the best and the best going at it at this. Like right now, I'm going to say top 5 because it just happened yesterday, but it's definitely in my top 5.
We got Christopher Marino here who says, no need for Blue Chew. Just put this match on and ready to go.
Chris,
you know how there's those memes that people do on social media where they're like, yeah, sex is great, but have you done this, or have you seen that, or have you experienced this? I felt like putting that yesterday on Twitter, like, yeah, sex is great, but have you seen Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay?
Yo, I wanted to smoke a cigarette after this, and then Denise, they were like, the ladder match is coming up. I'm like, I can't, dude, I'm dead.
Yeah, you're like, this is too much.
You want me to go again?
I was going to make a very inappropriate joke, but I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make the joke.
I'm waiting on my Blue Chew. I need it really bad.
Not with this match, apparently. Oh, my God. It was incredible. We really got a treat. Yeah. Roberto Arsenal says Ospreay versus Swerve at Wembley will be a classic. Denise, you should watch Starlight Kid and Stardom, who I think is the female WCW Rey Mysterio. Wow. Have you seen Starlight Kid, Reg?
I've seen a couple of Starlight Kid, and the things that she does, she's very tremendous. She definitely has that aura.
Okay, good. Yeah. Thank you for sending me that. Dungeon Master of Puppets says Ospreay and Bryan Danielson doing samurai single stroke face-off was a Kurosawa film in a wrestling match. What a masterpiece.
Like, I didn't know. I knew what to expect, and it's like they gave us that, but there was something extra element that I didn't expect that just I can't even process it. Magic. It's magic.
Fucking Cinderella's fairy godmother showed up and was like bippity boppity boop.
Seriously, Denise, they sprinkled magic. That's it. That's all I could say.
Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy after that. Really, really happy. Oh, here we go. Shelton Mysterio. Now that match was actually cinema.
Okay, all right.
Come on, Reg, say it.
Run the Tony Storm clip. Run the Tony Storm clip. I like what she said in the presser.
What part?
When she was like, people talk about cinema, people talk about this, but fuck off, or whatever she said. It was really cool.
Well, you won't say it, but I will. This was cinema. Cinema. Put it in the Universal Studios tour.
Listen, add the slow motion effects. This is cinema. I'm sorry, you guys. I'll say it out loud. This is a pro wrestling masterpiece. Like, I need to watch one. What's pro wrestling? Blah, blah, blah. Show it to me. Here it is right here. This is it.
We finally got it. Reg got to say that a match was cinema.
Cinema.
How does it feel, Reg? How does it feel?
I don't really like it. It was just a badass wrestling match. Amazing.
Bro,
10 stars, a million.
If tomorrow, I know that they show these pay-per-views on the Joe Hand Productions, AEW, you know how they show the pay-per-views on the movie theaters and stuff? Yeah. If they were like, hey, by the way, we're going to replay just this match. If you come to the theaters, my ass would show up tomorrow.
I'm pulling up. Where is it?
Exactly. There you go. Money idea, TK. All right, so wow, I guess we'll wrap it there with that match, but we're going to continue on with the rest of the show.
Whew.
Now, I feel bad for this next match, Reg, because you and I were texting here because this was for the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It was the Young Bucks versus FTR. I feel bad because the first few minutes, I couldn't focus. Like, even though I knew I was getting good stuff because this was a fun match, I couldn't focus. I was still vibing off of what we had seen with Will Ospreay and Bryan. Like, I was not ready to move on. Like, I was not over what we had just seen. So I actually didn't get into this match until like halfway through.
I wasn't ready, but I wasn't worried. I think if you go to that show at the beginning of the day and you see the card and you're like, well, who could follow what these guys are going to do? 2 people in this place have built careers off of this. Nicholas and Matthew Jackson have built a career off of, I don't care which placement in the card will be the first match, will be the second match, will be the middle match, will be the last match. We can follow anything. If you want somebody to follow that, I have an idea who's going to do it. Nick and Matt will do it. They'll do it every time. So I wasn't worried at all. It's a ladder match, like Plunder. The crowd busted their load for sure on this match. But if you want to bring them back, Blue Chew, if you want to bring them back, this is the way to do it. Put the FTR in there, put the Young Bucks in there, ladders, Plunder. There was some scary stuff in here, Denise, that
there was
pile driver that I was like, yo, are you, be careful. At one point you guys started chanting, please be careful. It's like, no, seriously, you guys be careful.
Yeah, literally. It was this thing of like, there was a lot in there. And for me, it was funny too, because like I was watching, and again, I wasn't like prepared, but they kept like making me react to things, and like everybody's getting busted open, and I'm just like, shit. And I had really good seats, by the way, where I was sitting at. So I had this really great view. There was no one tall in front of me. So I was able to see everything perfectly. And there was some spots on the ladder that I almost wish I didn't see too perfectly.
Seriously, I'm telling you, no, but that's what I knew was going to happen. Like you said, they had you reacting and you didn't, not that you didn't want to, but you didn't have the energy to.
I didn't have the energy. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, this feels good, but I can't. I can't.
But if you want to do it, this is how you do it. The Plunder, you blah, 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 all the craziness, all the shenanigans. And then we get the big reveal at the end, and it makes it all worth it, right?
Right, exactly. So Jack Perry, by the way, comes in.
Yep.
To a huge reaction. So
Giant.
Reg, you were right. You win that argument. Congratulations. I'm a man of my word, okay? If I'm wrong, I am wrong. If I am right, trust me, when I'm right, I'll rub it in. But for now, Reg, you were right with this Jack Perry situation. He
Everyone
got
was
tremendous
like,
heat.
He got punked out. He got blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just going to be super heat for him.
Which he did. That's still right. He did get punked out.
That doesn't matter. This is pro wrestling. None of that matters. This is just going to be heat for this guy. And then look what happened. I like the reveal that they did too. It's kind of like, let me rephrase that. I don't like it because it sets a bad precedent, a full sync that they could do that. Don't do that, you dumb idiots. Only let the wrestlers do that. But of the security, he ran in, security guards jumped on him, pulled it off. Huge reveal. I thought that was a great way to kind of bring him back, a great way to, he's still doing the scapegoat thing. They're still trying to sell that he don't work here, even though he definitely works here.
Yeah, this was fun. God. And speaking of fun, we got to get into this main event, because by the time we got to this main event, people were ready for round two.
Yes.
People were ready for round two. They were ready to go. And this was for the AEW World Championship. We got a brand new champion crowned. Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe. And the people were invested. The people were excited. I don't think I can describe to you how it felt to watch this match coming off of everything we had just gone through. There was like a different energy in the air of people basically being like, dude, we're still getting more. We're not done. And we're actually excited about what we're going to be seeing next. That was sort of the atmosphere in the building. But damn, an incredible matchup here to crown a new champion, and not just a new champion. Like the fact that Swerve Strickland is the first ever Black AEW World Champion, Reg. That's what all the questions centered around in the presser. What'd you think of this?
You know, earlier I was talking about how jealous I was because you got to witness Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, but I'm way more jealous. And the real reason that I was sad that I was not in St. Louis is because of this moment. Like, from the entrance with the Black Panther inspired thing, Nana comes and puts the Jimmy Rave robe on him. Like, from that point, I was like, I can't not believe I'm watching this on TV and not in there screaming my eyes out for this. But I thought it was a perfect execution, Denise. Like, just like you said, like the crowd has been through a roller coaster of emotions, but there still felt like the energy still felt good going into the match. I was like, okay, the crowd's not completely dead. Like, they're excited for this. And from the entrance and Swerve just looked like a gazillion dollars. Like, the gear was awesome. Samoa Joe comes down and just is badass, a villain ready to kill. like I said, played the perfect position in this. The match was great for what they had. Not a lot of time. They didn't need to tell this super long story. Samoa Joe hasn't been in super long matches, so it made sense that this one didn't go that long. Power slam onto the concrete was like, careful. Again, you guys, like, be careful out there. I thought there was a lot of moments of Swerve kind of showing his heart, coming in peril. Samoa Joe was dominant for a lot of it, showing this is the champion that I've been, and this is the champion that I could continue to be if I want to be. But the crowd was so in the Swerve from the moment that Phil was like, I just got into the show and they're all ready for Swerve. Like, soon as he stepped into the building, he was telling me that the fans are chanting for Swerve. Soon as they started the pre-show, Swerve, Swerve, Swerve. The crowd was here for this moment, and I think that made it even better. A lot of people that have helped Swerve get to the position that he is in now were in attendance, and he did it, Denise. Like, I could talk for 500 hours on the importance of all of this. The first black AEW world champion, where he came from, what he'd been. I think I've told people that I'm in the podcasting thing. I write about pro wrestling because of him. He played a part in all of this, like just being him. And so for him to get to there and to get to where he is now and to know what went on behind the scenes with this is just like, I could cry on this podcast, Denise. Like, it's a lot. Like, if it was just like some black guy, like if Hobbs did it, it would be the same. Like, I'd be like, there'd be a lot going on. But to know like the connections that this have and everything surrounding it, and we were there before he debuted, it's like, it's a super important moment, and I'm so happy for Swerve, and I'm so happy for Will Washington, my friend. It's an amazing moment. An amazing moment. It's a lot. I'm happy.
I feel your happiness, Reg. I was like, I think Reg is gonna cry.
I know. I'm like, dude, I gotta get out of this.
I was like, should I jump in? Like,
I don't want this. I don't want this. Help.
I know. I sensed it. I was like, oh my God, Reg is gonna cry, and I know he doesn't want to cry on the air.
Denise, it's a lot, man. Like,
I know
people think they're just like, oh, why do they want this? Black, blah blah blah. Like, this doesn't happen a lot. Like, it feels like it happens like Kofi and Big E and like The Rock and all this stuff. It like feels like recent, but this is a long time coming. I watched wrestling for 30 years and that shit didn't happen. Like, I didn't have representation. I didn't have fools that like Swerve that look just like me, that are rappers, that act just like, I didn't have this. And so it feels amazing that we got here. I don't want it to be first anymore. I want it to be like, this is the 50th black world champion. Like, I'm happy that we're starting here, but there's still a lot of progress that needs to be made. It is 2024 and we're saying the first. I don't want to say the first anymore. I want it to just be the norm.
Right. And I think the cool thing about this in particular is that no one is sitting here going, oh, they're just giving it to Swerve just to give it to him, right? Just so that they can say, oh, we have a black champion. No, like, he went out there and showed why, like, won the crowd over. Like, Tony Khan himself spoke about this, Reg, when they asked him, like, at what moment did you see Swerve as a potential champion? And he had mentioned he'd always been impressed, right? Of course, he was always impressed by Swerve. But it was that Hangman Page feud that saw him take that leap into championship material. And it's so crazy because, like, when you think back to those, what was it, 3 matches? I let's count at this point. 3 matches that we saw with Hangman.
3 matches.
Was it 4?
Yeah.
No, it was 3, right? It was 3 matches. Yeah. The 3 matches that we saw with Swerve and Hangman, those were all top-notch stuff. Tony Khan even said it himself that was one of the best feuds in AEW history. And keep in mind, we've had some real big ones, but this one is one of the biggest. And coming off of that match that we saw, that third one with Swerve and Hangman, the freaking death match that we saw, everybody was, claiming that was the best AEW match. Even Tony Khan said it himself during that. And so you're coming off of a best of a lot of stuff. And at that point, you got to turn around and you got to go, well, this person's producing a lot of this best of stuff. So you clearly got to run with that and do something. And the crowd sensed it. Everyone sensed it. Everyone knew the time was now, and the time came, and they actually executed on it. And now people are sitting here going, oh shit, we can't see this. We can't wait to see what Swerve and Will Ospreay, Swerve and Bryan Danielson, Swerve and this person. Those are the two
Swerve
big
and
names.
Okada.
Right, exactly. Like those are the names that are being mentioned. And so that makes it feel like this wasn't just let's just put it on someone just so that we can check off a box. No, let's put it on someone who worked for it, because that at the end of the day is what's going to move and make change. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a token thing. It's like Swerve earned this. Like we talked many times in our pod, Denise, of like, oh, they're getting to a point like he can't even be heel anymore. He has to be babyface. So because the crowd is so behind him. And I thought with every victory, with every match, he just built it more. And it felt like the right time right now. I'm happy that they executed it when they did. First show, Dynasty. They're building to a dynasty of this show is what Tony Khan's talking about. Felt really important to hear.
Right. And there was also, you mentioned somebody else's name who we know very well on this podcast. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, we're not going to get into all of the details and everything, but I do want to say one thing. Will should be effing fucking proud. And I literally, anytime I fucking tell him all the time, you should be proud as all hell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's doing great fucking work.
It's amazing. So happy for him.
Great fucking work. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh boy, we got to get into some of these super chats, see what people are saying here. And let me kick it off with, here we go, Juan Ortega. He says, driving to Jacksonville tomorrow. I'm so prepared for AEW Dynamite. Same with Collision and Rampage. What an amazing few days of pro wrestling, guys. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, Juan. We got Christopher Marino who says Swerve entrance was pure fire. Reg just spoke about that. Agree. We got Sheldon Jackson with a very generous super chat saying, question. Is Jack Perry a member of both the Elite and Bullet Club House of Torture or just one? Also love the breath Swerve took just before the final Swerve stomp because he knew what was about to happen. Oh, I didn't notice that. Well, because I was, I couldn't see the finer details.
Yeah, he took a moment to kind of take it all in, like this is really about to happen, and it was amazing. The first question, no, I think that they said that last match that Jack Perry wrestled was his last match in New Japan, so that kind of takes him out of House of Torture, but he could be like, an extended family member still.
We got Ice-T, he here, who says, let's be honest, 99% of average height and weight, gym bros? Gym bros in American and whoop 80% of the teeny tiny flip-flopping 5'0" 100% and nothing pounds AEW roster, including Lil Jack Perry. Reg is right.
Don't attach me to that. Reg is right. Why did I say that?
I don't think you said that, Reg.
I didn't say that at all.
What did Reg say?
I did not say that.
All right. We appreciate the support, but I don't think that's what Reg said.
Appreciate you, though.
Mike T90K. I was starting to think I'm listening to the wrong podcast.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't me.
Mike T90K says Swerve has the it factor, everything you want in a champion. He has it. His championship defenses will be amazing, and his match with Ospreay at Wembley Stadium will be generational.
Why do people think this match is happening?
I think because they want it to happen.
Okay.
Right?
But a lot of people have been like, I can't wait for that match. I'm like, who says that match is happening?
I don't know.
No, I don't know if it is.
Mike T90K says, shout out to Samoa Joe, stepped his game up when called upon and gave great matches and promos as champion, a true pro wrestler. Hope he gets a rematch. Here's the thing. Sometimes we forget it takes two to tango, guys. Two to tango. And Samoa Joe deserves those freaking flowers.
The moment was even bigger because Samoa Joe was on the other side. It's just like one of my favorite moments, maybe my number one moment of all time is Kofi Kingston, but it had to be Bryan Danielson on the other side to really make Kofi Mania happen. And that's what it felt like here with Samoa Joe.
We got Sterling Williams who says, so crazy Will helped book the Swerve Hangman storyline. Thank you, Sterling Williams, for the generous super chat. We appreciate that. We got Ice-T, he here, says, Reg, don't get pissed when Tony takes the belt off of Swerve and puts it on Ospreay when MJF comes back. Ospreay versus MJF is money. Or did MJF go to WWE? I don't think you're going to be pissed at that, considering how much you love Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be mad about it at all. It's like, Swerve lost this belt to the best wrestler in the world. All right, that makes sense.
Exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys. And I think we got just about everything. Was there something we did not talk about?
I don't think so.
No, we freaking did it. We got all of it. All right, guys. Well, we want to thank you so much for tuning in on this special edition of the show. As always, we appreciate you guys so freaking much. Before we wrap things up, I do have all of the press conferences up here on the channel. Please go check those out, guys. That's what makes my journey financially worth it, for you guys to check out the videos. I posted the ones with Swerve, Willow, Tony, Will, TK. All of that is up there here on the channel. Make sure to click that subscribe button. Do what you guys need to do. And I'm working on bringing on, hopefully, some more cool content to the channel. Reg, what do you got going on?
Nothing. It's just regular week of podcasts, and catch me on Indeed this Wednesday. I think we're gonna have like a round table with some random wrestlers. Wednesday, I'll also be on with my friend here, Denise. We'll be talking AEW Dynamite. Ask Grapsity is this week on Thursday, and regular Grapsity is this week on Saturday, featuring Philip Lindsay. So catch me here.
Mike T90K says, final question, Denise, which was better, WrestleMania or Dynasty?
Denise, you were at both.
I was at both. I can't compare the two, though. They're so freaking different, Reg. Like, you have WrestleMania, which is this really grand spectacle, right? That's the whole thing. It's a spectacle. You had the two last matches on the show that really drove home these big moments that WWE loves to do, right? You had Cody finish his story, which was freaking wonderful to see. And then you had all of the big moments with like The Undertaker and all of that. They know what the audience wants. They know what they get. And then you had Dynasty here. Dynasty won for me because of the Bryan Danielson Will Ospreay match. I cannot sit here and say that I saw the greatest match and then not pick that show. And it's because of Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson's match on there.
That's it.
But I also don't feel like you can compare the two. They're catering
totally different
to two different audiences. It's very, very different. And then you had like 2 nights of content versus 1 night of content. Apples and oranges.
Yep.
All righty. Well, as Reg mentioned to everybody, Reg and I are here each and every single Wednesday to talk about Dynamite. So if you're a fan, come through. We're fans too. We just love to talk about it. So make sure you guys come join us. Also, if you enjoy these podcasts, please, as always, I beg of you, go leave an Apple review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show, and it will help hopefully more people find and discover the show. Thank you so much to everybody. We hope you guys had an awesome week, and I'll continue to see you guys here on the channel. Thank you, everybody. Bye.